Welcome to Your Inspired Journey. I'm Carla Andrews, and I have the wonderful pleasure to be here with Julianna Quijano. And she is a phenomenal human being who's going to share some golden nuggets, some really great insights of just how we take care of ourselves and align ourselves with who we are and how we need to show up in this world. Welcome. How are you, Juliana?
Thank you. I am doing very well. Thank you very much for having me here.
Well, it's been a pleasure. I know the last time we had a conversation, we just had a real in-depth, real good time and just learning about each other, learning about life, really. And it's really going to be fantastic of what it is that you share, just giving everyone a window of the possibilities of what we can do to help elevate of who we are, of how we show up with in the world itself. So I know the first thing that everyone wants to know is who is Juliana? How did you get to this journey of, focusing on self-love, inner work of really ensuring that you are aligning with what it is in this world to be able to show what it is that you need to connect with. Who is Juliana?
Juliana is a very loving being who grew up with a lot of adversities in her childhood. Um, I went through parental divorce and
Mm,
separation of family and lots of trials and tribulations going on in that wave of family energy, um, which brought me to see that I was carrying on a lot of stress as a child.
mm,
And I didn't have the tools as a child except for nature. That was my go-to. Um, but I didn't have a lot of tools. I didn't have anybody to really talk to about this. I was very much introverted with my feelings. And it wasn't until my 20s that I discovered that it was okay for me to be me, and that I have this gift of being highly empowering for others in a very caring and nurturing way, and that my being wanted to speak through me with my highly sensitive, unique gift of a wide open heart and compassion, which wanted to speak as a child, but I did not feel safe in the environments that
mm.
I was in.
That's
So,
important.
and that is very important. And so I went through a lot of the idea of separation and duality. I was playing that game as a child and into high school and into a little bit into college. But as I got to college, I went to a private women's university where the women were very empowered and they were international from all over the world. So I began to, my diamonds started to shine.
I
And
love that. I love how you said that. My diamond
yes,
started to shine.
yes, and I just needed to buff it more and to polish it more with my own personal skills and get out in the world and know that I am great. I am okay here on this planet. And it was me having the confidence and the courage to walk the path, so to speak, the spiritual path of going inside of me to figure out what am I about? Who am I? Why
Mm-hmm.
am I here? What is Juliana? Who is she? Why am I in this body? And so I went through several different careers to figure that out. I went through Pilates, holistic health and wellness, as well as yoga and meditation, and then finally went into a deeper spiritual medicine, I call it, of vortex energy healing. And right at that spark, that moment of exploring the energy healing community, of them bringing in these natural abilities to shift energy in different modalities like Reiki or shamanism or any type of energy medicine, I was in my element. And
Mm.
I could just feel myself light up brighter than I ever was before. And that is what Julianna is about. She is about um, assisting others in helping them on their path and finding and guiding them on their journeys to going inside and discovering the inner terrain of our universe. And when I did that, it's taken, a good, 20 years for me to discover. And each time I go along these journeys, um, it gets even better and even better. And I'm just so grateful for being able to do that. But what ends up happening is we become this oneness of all that ever exists, of humanity, of nature, of just life. And I created this palette within me of self-love in every area of my life, not just spiritual, but everything started to transform. And I use
Mm.
my experiences to help others to transform their lives too, because my experiences help them to see and feel, oh, okay, I can do that too. It's a spark of confidence within us that we arrive
Mm.
at, that helps us to speak the words of what is it that I am here to be, to do, what is my beyond my purpose of I'm here to go with the flow of life. And how do I do that? So I assist people in journeying on that path.
Wow. So I know that we have an audience of many people from all walks of life. And I think a lot of times when it comes to when you're saying the inner work, being spiritual, coming into a space of finding out who you are, it's like what type of activities or what type of exercises that you help them connect with so that they can go through this journey with you.
In the very beginning, we first started this life with breath. And we end our lives with breath in this body, right? But
Yeah.
breath is eternal. And I teach people about that. I teach people about how to breathe, that there's different ways of breathing. We can breathe with stress or we can breathe with flow. And when you breathe with flow, you breathe in a very soft, gentle way,
Mm.
like a gentle stream, and you go with the flow. Your body, your mind, your spirit go with the flow with breath. It's like friends intertwining their branches, right? And
So that, in other words, you're not holding back or like trying. It could be stressful. When a person is stressful, they're not breathing correctly. So learning to just
correct.
let it flow.
Well,
Hmm.
it's more than that, but being aware of when there's a situation of stress and when we're holding our breath too,
Hmm.
and becoming aware and just taking a moment of slowing down and going in and checking on our breath regularly. That is like
Hmm.
the most fundamental, that comes before any
I love that.
movement or words or anything. It is the most simple yet can be, a complex platform in which we work,
Mm.
because that is the basis for all shifting and transformation within us. Because what happens
Mm.
when we go into our most relaxed state? What happens? We get really quiet in the mind, and our uh, harmonious resonance with our life comes into being.
Mm.
And then life just happens. There's nothing
So
that we
learning,
really need to
yeah.
do.
So really taking a cue of how we're taking life, really, right? It's how we're embracing whatever is coming
Correct.
our way every single day is ensuring that, are you taking it with a panic or with whether it's judgment or however the belief is, or are we saying, okay, we're going through the tunnel, whatever that tunnel is of your strategies, circumstances, challenges, objections,
Right.
and then still be able to, I'm going through.
Yes, exactly. You're
but
going through,
be but
and our spirit and our highest essence of ourself guide us. And when we come up with an uncomfortable position, so this is the next evolution of what I do, which is
mm,
once the breathing is, once an individual has the breathing down, then I take them through the journey of, okay, what's uncomfortable for you in your life? And let's embrace that together. Very gently, just very gently moving through that with our breath softly and gently, because it wants to have a voice anyways. And the more you put
mhm,
walls and barriers up against it, the more pressure you put upon
yes,
yourself and
yeah,
tension around your body. It just it doesn't work that way. It
yeah,
wants
it's
to
like a
flow.
pressure cooker.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's going to blow.
It's a pressure cooker. So we want
So
to we want to
you
poke
just,
those holes and let things breathe. Yeah.
yes. And I can tell you, this just works. It just is the most natural, organic way of working with us. And I do this before COVID and the pandemic. I was doing it outside in nature so that individuals
Hmm.
could coexist with, the elements of the sand and the ocean, because I live in Florida, so we have the ability to go to the water and hear how the waves that are within us exist with the waves that are around us. And and this,
Just being around nature,
yes,
being
just being
around
around
nature.
nature.
Yeah.
So,
It's
and I
that
do
the
it with
natural
fun.
beauty of it. Yeah.
Yeah, we try to have an element of fun there. So now I take it online.
Mm,
And I go online and we use our imagination of what is in your home or the building that you're in right now that
mm,
you can have the most gratitude for, and bring it into your present state of being with your
mm.
breath. And
That's so
then,
important now. That is so
yes,
important because I think a lot of us now are, if we're not in the future, we worry about the future. We're worrying. We're taking up on things that we can't control mentally, right? Of how it is and how it's making us feel. We may go back of how what we had. So now we're anxious or we're doing regretful type of thinking. But what you're sharing is really, and how you're helping guiding those in your circle, is the space of just being an appreciative or being grateful for right here, right now. Just taking what's on right in front of you, what you have control of, and relax with it and go along with it, and see a difference, and really how your body just doesn't tense up. As I've talked to people and you see they all they're very tense, they're very like uptight, because from a thought, from of what they can control or what they can't control. But you're telling us to just relax, breathe, and just be who you are, where you are right now. Am I correct?
yes, it is a 360 degree evolution of who you
Mm,
are, going the opposite of what you may have been told by society or the media, or do the opposite. Relax those
mm,
fears. Go within. Find your inner quiet and
mm.
just observe what is going
I
on
love that.
around you.
I
You know,
love that. Find your inner quiet. We all need to
yes,
do that. Yeah.
find the inner quiet. And when we find our inner quiet, we find that we are much more than we give ourselves credit for, or much more than what we've explored in our
Mm.
lives. And
Yeah.
the feelings begin to tingle again, back into feeling, okay, we are meant to be sentient beings. We are meant to feel. We are meant to feel those
Mm-hmm.
emotions of love or fear or pain or discomfort and move through them, not hold them,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
move through them. Why are we given the examples of all this movement in the world, of the wind, of the oceans, of the trees swaying and blowing in the wind? We don't see stop and go trees. I've never seen a tree, stop and get all tense, and so it's kind of like a sign for us. It's like, oh, okay, well, if that's what I'm seeing, that's what I become.